the greatest baseball team of all time.
Program,
excuse me, of all time. And there, Ron Dado, 7 national. By the way, a Louisiana boy, Ron Dado. Had him on the show. He's got Louisiana. This is on the show 25 years ago. Not this show, another one I was doing, Sports Talk. They won like 7 titles in 11 years. Skip Bertman won 5 and 10. And, you know, a different era back in that, the olden days, say, mid-'80s. You know, it was USC, it was Miami, it was Texas, it was Wichita State, you know, Florida State. There weren't too many baseball programs. And then Skip Bertman got baseball going in Louisiana with Tulane and UNO in the SEC. And then it's taken off. So just the last 35 years or so, LSU has dominated, where Texas and USC aren't really even on the map the last 35 years.
No. LSU baseball is up there with, like, I think, like, UCLA basketball, Alabama football, dynasties like that. But the difference is, like, all these championships have been in my lifetime. Like, yeah. I'm young. I was young back then, but I remember, you know, my parents cheering.
I know, you were lucky. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dude, I grew up with Chinese Bandits, Go Team, 1958, you know, Billy Cannon, who I interviewed a few times, had him on the show a few times, really nice guy.
Yeah.
You know, all of that, Pastime Lounge, black and white photos, you know, these, you know, Chinese Bandits. That's what it was forever. It's like, thank God for Saban in the 05 title.
No, 100%.
Had to listen to that for 45 years.
Yeah.
You know, and don't get me wrong, I embraced it. I still do. But now it's in its rightful place. Like, 5th, 6th. The 87 team was better than the 1958 national championship team. The 87 team that went 10-1-1.
And those were good times, you know.
Yeah, you know, exactly. I'm not knocking them at all. I'm an old timer. I'm old school, new school.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thank God that we don't have to live through that in all the 60s, all the 70s, all the 80s, all the 90s. Yeah. It was like 45 years of that. Go Team, Chinese Bandits is like, man, it's tiring.
Exactly. It's 8 titles, but in a 25-year span. Like, that's incredibly impressive.
Nope. And then, you know, you got to witness what I was alluding to just now, football greatness. Greatness. From like 2000 till now, I mean, except for those couple of weird Ogeron years as he was fading out the door. It's just been domination. I mean, outside of Alabama, you could argue LSU the greatest college football program this century.
Oh, yeah. And I know it didn't end well for Les Miles, but he had them up there for a while.
Les Miles Les Miles is underappreciated. One day there might be a statue of Les Miles at Tiger Stadium, especially if this sexual stuff, we get the truth from it and what it really is.
Yeah, you know, I'm not telling anybody how to feel about that.
Me neither.
In my opinion, I agree with you. He's underappreciated. He's an LSU legend.
An LSU legend, couldn't say it better myself. And like him or not, the single greatest football coach in the history of the program. Would I rather Saban? Of course. He was there 5 years. Les Miles won a title, played for another, close to playing for another. I mean, if Saban doesn't go to Alabama, Les Miles is a Hall of Fame college coach. He might be one of the greatest college football coaches of all time.
Yeah, there's an ultimate.
Guys like Julio Jones and Richardson, those guys are going to LSU.
Yep.
They're not going to Alabama. LSU was runner-up to so many Saban guys, especially while Saban was establishing the program, like 08, 09, 2010. LSU was runner-up. And then, you know, it was Saban all by himself. But anyway. No, Les Miles kicked butt and took names year in, year out. For like a decade straight, the most anticipated college football game every year was LSU Alabama.
Yeah.
It had national championship implications for like 10 years straight.
Yeah, that was like a classico of college football. That's what they call Real Madrid Barcelona. That was the college football version.
No, it was. I mean, if you're an LSU football fan, I always say this, if you come from another planet, you're just like, you want to experience the best in college football, it's LSU.
Oh, yeah.
Just all of it. Could win a national title. The stadium's the greatest maybe in all of sports. when it's electric. It's Saturday night. It's some SEC opponent. It's meaningful. It's out of control. Mm-hmm. And just the quality of the program. And then the schedule is year in, year out, decade in, decade out, the number one college football schedule, bar none. I mean, the national championship run in 19, the 2012, those are some of the greatest regular seasons in the history of college football.
Yeah. Just
a bulldozer of a schedule.
They beat some good teams. That's life in the SEC.
Half a dozen, maybe 7 top 25 teams. Obnoxious. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Yeah, old Latinx, a.k.a. Mario Brothers. He loves those LSU Tigers. He loves his sports. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Mario Brothers, before I get into Iran firing some missiles at a U.S. base, those B-2 bombers that, took off from Missouri and went and bombed, I guess it was 6 or 7 of them, dropped those big, what are they, 40,000 pounds? 60,000 pounds. It's like 30-ton bunker buster bombs. They can carry 2 each. These stealth F-2, 2 pilots. Those planes flew 37 hours. Took off in Missouri, and as they went up in the air, it's like, okay, Jimmy, Freddie, we'll see you guys in 37 hours, in a day and a half. We'll see you in a day and a half. No shower on the B-2, but was amazed to find out there is a cot, so one of the pilots can take a nap while the other one's flying. There is a microwave oven. There is a refrigerator, obviously very small in size, but these guys there's a bathroom. There's a toilet, and there is a microwave and a refrigerator and a pull-down cot. Because that plane took off from Missouri, and it didn't land in Missouri again for 37 hours. It didn't land on an aircraft carrier. It didn't land in some base somewhere else in Europe. It refueled in the air however many times it had to refuel, there and back, and flew for 37 hours straight. That's just absolutely impressive as hell. Anyway, the United States getting involved in Israel and Iran, hitting 3 nuclear sites. Iran responding, firing missiles at the U.S.'s largest base in the region. In Qatar. The forward headquarters for CENTCOM. 10,000 U.S. troops are stationed there. There's like 50,000 U.S. troops in the Middle East. Now, I've got no problem with that. U.S. troops in the Middle East, U.S. troops in Japan, U.S. troops in Germany, Italy, no problem with any of that. No, otherwise it'll be some other major power that's got their troops in that area. Now, it's not fun being the policeman of the world, but it's better than North Korea, Iran, Russia, or China being the policeman of the world. Look what China's trying to do right now in the South China Sea. Got to stay over there. Got to continue to run Navy ships up and down that area. It's international waters. It's not Chinese waters. The U.S. Fifth Fleet is in Bahrain. Like 9,000 service members there. That's right in the Gulf. Got an Iraq base with thousands there. No, it's pretty amazing the forces that we have. 4,000 in Jordan, 2,000 in Syria, 2,500 in Iraq, 14,000 in Kuwait, 3,000 in Saudi Arabia, 9,000 in Bahrain, 10,000 in Qatar. 3,500 in the Arab Emirates. Yeah, it's about 45, 50,000 military personnel in the Middle East. No, and that's a good thing. Got to protect them. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Mario Brothers, you always have to have a little levity, especially with all the stress going on. I've asked this question before. I'll ask it again. Landscapers, grass cutters, Should the law allow them to blow cuttings and leaves just out in the street and let vehicles drive by and spread it all out down the block? Or should they have to, what they're cutting and raking up and blowing, should they have to bag it? 766-9480. What do you think about the grass cutters that blow their stuff out in the street? 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a scorcher of a Monday. Man, it's got to be one of those 95, feels like 105. I'll let you know when we come back. Ouch. Stay hydrated.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Thoughtful conversation, common sense. Corey Johnson.
With all due respect, Mr. Dennis, I had no idea you'd gotten experimental surgery to have your removed.
Live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
What was that? Oh, I said with all due respect.
Yeah, you're right, Crescent City. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on a Monday. 766-9480. That's how you dial us up. Where are we heading, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx?
NOLA for Mike.
NOLA for Mike. All right. Mike, what's happening in the city of New Orleans?
Well, you talk about the clippings. I used to have a business on Canal in the parks and parkways cuts the grass and blows the leaves into the street. And then the Sewage and Water Board pays millions of dollars to get the grass out of the gutter. It seems like a circular firing squad.
It definitely sounds like a circular firing squad. Literally park and parkways. I've never noticed or thought about it. I've seen them bag stuff before, and then they tend to like leave the bags out there sometimes. I'm like, what? Another crew comes to pick up bags?
No, you know where Helm Payne is on Canal Boulevard?
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
right by the train track.
They cut the grass, they blow it in the street, and then the months later, before a hurricane, they come out and they put a sucker truck down in the drain and try and suck all the leaves out the drain.
No, I believe you. That's crazy. I'm going to notice the next time I see park and parkways cutting neutral grounds, which should be more now than ever since it's summer.
They should set an example and say you can't do that, and commercial cutters can't do that. You know,
and local folks.
Your grass. You blow the grass back up in your yard, and it mulches down and makes your yard grow good.
That's what Sean on the North Shore sent me. Mulching blade that goes back in your own yard, and anything I cut that goes in the street gets blown back in my yard also. But yes, I've seen supreme knuckleheads that have no conscience blowing everything out into the street.
Right. And then it'll go out into the gutter. Well, where do you think the gutter goes? It goes in those pipes. And those are the first people that complain when the streets flood.
No, I was driving down the street and a guy's just blowing. He's in the middle of the street and everything's like, it sucks if you're like the neighbor across the street because it's like going towards the neighbor across the street's house and down the block. And I had to drive through it, and then I look at my rear view, and the grass is 4 feet in the air following my car, getting spread out more. No, put it in the street so the cars spread it all over the place. That's basically the plan.
Yeah, so like in Uptown New Orleans, where they have all those oak trees,
yep,
the people pay the guy to cut their grass and blow it in the street, and then they get on the news and complain that the street's flooded.
Yeah, no, I just thought, Mike,
a little extra and have them bag it.
It seems like everything should be bagged. You know, everything should be bagged and thrown. Yep. I mean, ideally, you get a compost pile going, or just throw it away.
Right.
Whatever. But
bananas and coffee in there. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Tea bags, coffee, eggshells, whatever the hell you want to throw in there. No, but I agree. I think I'm being a little over the top maybe, but I honestly don't think so. Like if I was a political leader, I would say, I know this seems a little extreme, but to me, it's a form of littering, basically.
Well, I mean, you have two people running for mayor that are on the city council that could come up with this brilliant idea to make the parks and parkways clean up their own mess and then make an ordinance where you can't blow stuff in the street.
Yeah, there's obviously, a dozen major topics that the mayoral candidates need to focus in on. But, of the 100 like lanyap type extras, I think this one would fall in that category. I mean, it could be a subtopic of just keeping the city clean, Mike. That's one of my goals. If I were running for mayor, we're going to go from one of the filthiest cities in America to being known as one of the cleanest.
How about one of the driest?
We should have retention ponds and water features all over the place. I mention this all the time, Mike. You can Google it, Waggoner and Ball New Orleans water plan. It's the entire East Bank, St. Bernard Parish, Orleans, and Jefferson, and it's just loaded with retention ponds, water features, linear water parks. Like the Lafitte Greenway by now is supposed to be the Lafitte Blue Way. Seriously, where different parts of it are linear water featured canals, little snaking canals with pampas grass and benches, and you could fish and jogging path right next to it, all of that. So, no, a Waggoner and Ball New Orleans water plan, the entire East Bank. We should be billions of dollars into it, and we barely have broken ground. And when we do, the Mirabeau Water Garden, ICE goes and raids it and shuts it down. So,
Well, look, they have the one out, where Bartholomew Golf Course?
They have a great linear water park, like water feature there.
Yeah, they have retention ponds and all.
They do in between the street and the golf course. I'd say for probably might be a couple hundred yards long.
So think of the millions of dollars they could save by not having to suck all that stuff out of the drains. They could use that to build parks.
Yep. No. Oh, exactly, Mike. And build up the land. No, Mike, also, we always complain about the Sewage and Water Board, and we should. But Jefferson Parish and St. Bernard Parish folks know when inches of rain fall, it's going to flood. And when there's a major rain event, it's going to flood. You can't have Clearview and Vets go underwater. You can't have that. When a major rain event hits, Clearview and Vets can never go underwater. Never. I mean, during a hurricane, Clearview and Vets should never go underwater. So it's not just Orleans Parish. These retention ponds and water features would be all over the city. No leaders are talking about it. No leaders care. It's not popular. It doesn't have sizzle. You know, illegal immigrants, that's got sizzle. You know, transgender surgery, that's got sizzle. Crap that doesn't mean anything. Those are the political, hot buttons. The things that mean stuff to us, fixing our coast, making New Orleans work with water instead of against it. No one's interested.
Look, I live in Max Street. They do the same thing here. They blow the grass all over the place, and it goes down the drain and goes out into the canal. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all, Mike. You're right on the money.
Well, you have a good day, man.
You too. That's Mike in New Orleans. I'm going to keep an eye on that, Mike, because those guys cutting in New Orleans. Yeah, you're right. See you. No, he's right. You got to lead from up top, and when people, citizens see, dude, I see them cutting the neutral ground. They're just blowing the crap out in the street. Why would a landscaper bag it? That's work. You blow it all out in the street, you get in your truck and you drive off. You blow it into a pile, then you first have to blow it into the pile, so it's taking much longer than just blowing it out in the street. Then you have to pick that pile up and bag it. That takes time. That's that time is money. Might be one less law, and you're knocking out 10 a day. You only can knock out 9 if you got to pick up the clippings. You're knocking out 8 a day. You're only going to be able to do 7 if you have to pick up all those clippings. But I don't know. I see too many landscapers and grass cutters that do it right and pick up the clippings. So I don't know. Not trying to be some weird stickler. I'm not attacking you landscapers. No, most do a good job, I would think. But I don't know. I think it's like a form of litter. Litter. Littah. Litter. Like Kennebra. Litter. I like this. Jefferson Parish Council unanimously approving a nearly $17 million East Bank animal shelter. State of the art. The one thing I would implore to these Jefferson Parish folks, I'm not trying to find a negative. It's great. Dogs, cats, wildlife, farm animals, small mammals, reptiles, 20,000 square feet. The only negative is it's on that one Humane Way road over by the water plant off the Earhart Expressway. You tell me how to get there, because I certainly don't know how the hell to get over there. I mean, I do, but it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's not mainstream. And the building's gorgeous and beautiful. Jefferson Parish has to own a nice prime piece of property somewhere. I mean, put it in Elmwood. Put the thing in Elmwood over by the Yenny building. Talk to Larcella. I bet you Larcella Land will donate the land to put that veterinarian building, where it can be seen, where it's a beautiful building. I mean, you're sticking it basically behind the water plant by the Earhart Expressway. No one sees it unless you pull up to it. You want people to see it, know it's there. Oh, that's where it is. And then something goes off in their head about adopting, or I got to drop off a stray or whatever. They know where the thing is. Anyway, I'm not trying to complain, I swear. I'm fired up about it. Jefferson Parish doing the right things. Thumbs up. Developer Joe Cannizzaro passing away at 88 years old. Developed a lot of New Orleans' modern skyline. I've mentioned between 1972 and 1987, that 15-year run, mid to late 70s into the early to mid 80s. 25 major buildings went up in New Orleans CBD, brand new buildings. either office buildings or hotels. 25. One of them was called, am I pronouncing this right, Mario Brothers Latinx? Superdome? Superdome? Supperdome? Supperdome, home of the Saints. They play in the National Football League or something. Supperdome. Is that right?
Close
Supperdome?
enough. Yeah, I think so.
Well, they got this thing called Supperdome, and that was one of the 25 major buildings built from 72
Still there
to 87. The Supperdome is still there.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do in the Supperdome?
A lot of stuff.
Besides this Saints football thing of the National Football League.
Concerts and whatnot.
Gotcha. Uh-huh. Thanks, man. I'm pronouncing it right, huh?
Close enough.
Close enough. Supperdome.
I like how you didn't put a sponsor in front. Good for you.
Yeah. It used to be what, the Mercedes-Benz Supperdome,
mm-hmm.
and now it's the Caesar Supperdome.
Mm-hmm. I liked it when it was Louisiana Superdome.
I remember when that first started, I was like, it's Candlestick Park. I don't know, Monster or 3Com or whatever the hell they called it. It's Candlestick. I can't change the name to that.
No, yeah.
Wrigley Field was the innovator way back like in the 20s and 30s. The innovator of,
Some brands are classic, but, like Staples Center. It's no longer Staples Center, but yeah.
Yeah. No, and some are just hard to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
Change your name every few years.
Like Heinz Field was Pittsburgh for the longest. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, how did Heinz bail on that?
Yeah.
U.S. Steel, owned by Nippon. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Audubon Gutters. You need gutters for your home, for your business? AudubonGutters.com. For nearly 35 years, the Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company, AudubonGutters.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 airy locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Hey, Marigny, Bywater, Tremay, French Quarter, CBD, Warehouse District, Garden District, Irish Channel. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Every now and then I've got some softball questions, and not like, softball meaning they're not meaningful, but they're just they're lightweight. They're not like, Iran firing missiles at the U.S.'s largest base in the Middle East or things like that. I was asking if landscapers, folks cutting their grass, public or private, should they be allowed to blow the clippings and leaves out into the street? I think it's basically littering. The good landscape companies, the people that cut their own lawns with pride, seem to bag it all and throw it away. We always did. Now, I remember cutting the grass as a kid. We had this thing called like a billy goat or something. It was this big old suction thing that had a big bag behind it, and it was pre-blower. And you would, instead of blowing, you would suck. And you would just suck up all the grass on the sidewalk, everywhere. The billy goat would eat it up. And then you'd have this big bag that you'd empty of grass. But all the clippings were picked up. And there were brooms back then. A thing called a broom still exists. We didn't just sweep it out in the street and it's the street's problem. Cars will blow it down by the neighbor. I never understood that. Anyway, today, I've asked this question before. I guess every now and then somebody, I see him blowing the crap out in the street. Today was a guy in the middle of the street just blowing stuff down the street. Plus, that blower's loud, get run over. 766-9480. Doesn't it kill you when people are crossing the street slow with that dare you look like they're looking at you and you're doing like 50? It's like, hey, dude, you're a human being. I'm a human being. The difference is there's a 2-ton chunk of steel around me doing 50. Might get a blowout and fly off to the right and clock you. I might be a drunk idiot. I might be a vindictive person and want to hit you. I don't know about you, but man, when I'm crossing the street, Mario Brothers, AK Latinx, it's not like I don't trust people. It's like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I run across the street, plus just out of common courtesy.
No, I'm with you.
The car's coming. I'm going to take my time.
Yeah, I hate
might get hit or run over. My life's more important to me. I'm trying to prove some point about my street.
Yes.
I was here first.
So immature. I hate when people do that.
I don't even think it's immature. I think it's something crazy. Just like, I don't know what it is.
Just unnecessary.
Beyond unnecessary. Crazy. 766-9480. Now, I got other gimmicks, Mario Brothers. It's like right on red. No one wants to turn right on red in New Orleans. I mean, some people do. Most do, I guess. Boy, Earhart at Carrollton, it's like I honk the horn sometimes in front of the Popeyes. Right on red. You can go right on red, like you're trying to go to the Earhart Expressway.
Yeah.
And some people are just like, no.
There's one on Kenner on, I think, West Esplanade that's turned on left now, and I always forget that it is.
Oh, yeah. There's I think Causeway at Veterans is you can go left through the red light.
I always forget, and people always honk.
No, it has a sign like left on red. The Vets at Homa. Mm-hmm. Vets at Homa Boulevard, like going away from Clearview, going towards Causeway. If you're going to like Kebab House or I guess Drew Brees' crappy Subway joint.
Yeah, Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's. You're going there. Mario Brothers is laughing. He's saying to himself, I like Jimmy John's. I eat Jimmy John's once or twice a month.
It's straight. It's probably like my 4th sandwich option if I wanted a sandwich. But yeah.
What's 1, 2, and 3?
I like Subway.
Nope.
I like, honestly, Quiznos is underrated. Nope. There's still one in Elmwood. 0
for 2.
And I guess it'd be number 3.
Wow. I had a Subway one time in like 1990. I was working for this guy. We were cutting grass, and it was like summer in Baton Rouge. We went to this Subway on Government Street, and I forgot I got like a meatball sub or something. I was like, this is the nastiest crap I've ever had. That's the one and only time I had Subway, and I didn't even finish it.
Jeez, pre-Jared Fogle Subway.
Oh, yeah, way pre-Jared Fogle.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yep. And let's see. I had Sonic, a bite of a Sonic burger. And then the burger and the bite ended up on Airline Highway outside of St. Francisville.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that was just, I've never had Sonic ever again. I've never swallowed. I'm like Bill Clinton. I didn't inhale.
Yeah.
I didn't swallow. No, I'm not kidding you. I took a bite. I was like, Jesus. And then just spit the blob out and then threw the burger, not the wrapper, out onto the street.
It's hard to get over a bad fast food experience, man.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Fast food's already not.
No, and as you get older, I mean, I don't know. I'm watching Bill Maher. He's like, a McDonald's Big Mac is good. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Neither is a Whopper or a Wendy's or any of them.
See, like, to me, that's all still delicious, but I've never had a bad.
I could not. I used to be. I used to like a Big Mac. I thought a Whopper was pretty good. What got me on the Whopper is one day I'm about halfway through and I just stared at that gray meat a little too long.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
And I switched to the Whopper Junior, which I'd finish that and be like, you know what? I'm all right. I could almost take another bite. The Whopper, I was like, it was too much. I was like, this is nauseating.
Nah, because I love burgers. Like, I love a quality burger.
Oh, I love a quality burger.
But I could also eat, a Whopper.
Well, yeah, you're 30, Mario Brothers. When I was 30, I ate fast food still. And then when I got older and gave it up, like I just gave it up because I found it disgusting.
Yeah.
I found it gross.
I'll get there, I guess.
Yeah. And I've had this discussion before. I've never eaten Taco Bell in my life. Never had a Checkers or Rally's burger. I mean, why would I want to?
There's one right around the corner.
It just looks so disgusting and nauseating. It just doesn't look good. And I just can't think the meat is anything of quality. And I think if something falls on the floor, they're going to just keep using it. I don't know.
The fries get a lot of love from Rally's Checkers.
The fries?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think are nasty. There's like coated ones.
Yeah,
they're awful. They're terrible.
They're delicious.
Oh, they're so bad. I mean, they just got to be some frozen, terrible stuff. McDonald's had good fries, and then they switched the oil to like a healthier oil, and they're just not as good anymore.
Yeah, no. A lot of these restaurants are starting to have AI fast food too.
So I guess when I say like Lillette on Magazine and fresh cut hand fries with some of the skin still on, cooked in goose fat, that's just you're just like, what?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I hear you. 766-9480. Yeah, I don't eat too much fast food. Popeyes, I think, is terrible.
Oh.
Popeyes used to be the single greatest fast food ever invented, ever created. 30 years ago, Popeyes, you go in there and they had this little glass booth. They're rolling out biscuits.
Yeah.
And they had this little chart that had like a yellow biscuit was like underdone, and then one a little more done, still underdone, then the middle, perfect, and then overcooked and way overcooked, like a color chart. And they had their own little baking oven, and they'd paintbrush the butter on these biscuits. Ooh. These biscuits were some of the greatest biscuits of all time. I was thinking about the Popeyes biscuit. I doubt your boy needs to hear anything from me. He's worth $9 billion, but your boy from Canes, if he got rid of the Texas toast and had a Popeyes biscuit from the old days, I think sales would increase even more.
Oh, yeah.
The Popeyes biscuit with the butter was phenomenal. The Texas toast, I might take a bite of that. I don't really eat the Texas toast that much at Canes.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
Definitely give me the Popeyes biscuit anytime.
The Popeyes old school biscuit was great. Today's Popeyes biscuits are frozen hockey puck. It sucks.
Even as is, I like it. But they were better back in the day.
Oh, it's not even close.
I remember those.
Not even close.
And I remember the Super Popeyes buffet.
Super Popeyes with the Mexicorn and all that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so good.
No, Popeyes was so good. The dirty rice was incredible. I wouldn't eat that dirty rice today. The red beans and rice were unbelievable. The red beans and rice today suck.
Oh, man.
Greasy, rice that's overcooked.
Talking to the wrong one.
Bite into a leg of chicken. Why is that dark meat black? Why is the drumstick broken in half? Why is the leg broken at Popeyes? And then breasts that are like, 3 inches thick, Mario Brothers. What the hell's that? I want a regular breast. Give me just a regular. I don't want the thing that's this thick.
You've roasted everything on the menu except the sandwich.
I went to Popeyes about 3 years ago, and I got the chicken nuggets, which are actually pretty good.
Okay.
It's like a mini version of that sandwich. And I got the sandwich plain, and I just threw the bread and everything away and just ate the chicken breast.
Yeah, with sauce.
And it was pretty good.
Yes.
It was pretty good.
There you go.
I'll give you that. But I never went back for the nuggets or the chicken breast. But I guess if I were like dying somewhere and there was a Popeyes, I guess I'd go there. But the only thing I really eat is Cane's. And occasionally I'll go to Chick-fil-A, which I think is so overrated.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Chick-fil-A is just like nothing special.
No, like,
and people think it's like incredibly special.
I think it's good, but I compare it to Taylor Swift. Like it's good. I would consume it, but I do not understand all the hype, and I would not stand in that long of a line to consume it.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Taylor Swift. Wow.
Yes, I did that analogy before. People got upset at me.
All right.
Swifties.
No, it's okay. I just don't think it's great. I don't think it's battered in store. I think it comes out of a bag battered. Yeah. I think it's frozen no matter what they say. I mean, you can't get anything, hey, can I get it with no batter? Nope. Canes, I can get them naked. Can I get them extra crispy? Nope. No alterations, no gimmicks at Chick-fil-A. Strict rules and regulations. Very salty.
Okay.
A lot of sodium.
There's just my taste buds. No like scientific anything to back it up, but it feels like just better quality chicken than like
I think it is better. I 100% agree with you. I think you're right. I think your feeling is right on the money. I think Chick-fil-A definitely has a better quality chicken breast than McDonald's, Burger King, any of course.
But I still find it overrated. Like the lines.
I think it's a little overrated.
The lines at like 2 p.m. Like
no, exactly around the block.
Yeah.
It's like, people, what's up? Are they giving you $100 bill at the window?
Yeah, and when I lived in Baton Rouge near LSU, my God, the one by my apartment, it was like always packed. Didn't matter what time.
Generally speaking, these are just loose generalizations. A good McDonald's does about $7,000 a day. A good Cane's does double that, about $15,000 a day. A good Chick-fil-A does triple the McDonald's, like $21,000 a day.
Damn.
Serious money. And Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday, and they still do 6, 7, 8 million a location annually. Just stupid money.
And they never understaffed.
Crazy.
That's one thing I noticed. Like they always have workers, people outside if it's crowded. Other fast food places always understaffed.
Hey, you're in Kenner, bro, aren't you? Isn't that where you live?
Yes.
That Cane's on Williams is one of the busiest in the entire chain of like 1,000 Raising Cane's.
Mm-hmm.
That one in Kenner on Williams, one of the highest grossing, busiest Raising Cane's out of like 1,000 locations all around the world.
Yeah.
All around the country and a few other countries.
Same thing. It's always like the line is wrapping around Williams. Every time.
Little easier to navigate at Cane's than a Chick-fil-A, I think.
Yeah.
Although the one in Slidell, the Cane's has the Chick-fil-A type drive-through, the big overhang, the fans, 2 lanes.
Yeah, it's a newer one.
All of that. Yep. It's like a whole extra parking lot for the drive-through. Anyway.
Whole fast food segment. That was awesome.
Yep. That whole segment was on fast food. We'll end it with the best invention, those little peel-back Heinz ketchup containers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, much better than the little packets where you have to use 3 at a time.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Supply. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
New Orleans talk giant Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
I'll have the entire city of New Orleans
in Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM. Also from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida on 600 AM and 1560.
766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, fielding your phone calls at 766-9480. Yeah, right on red. It's legal. Hazard lights while driving, it's illegal. Left lane drivers, very fired up about this, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx. In about 5 weeks, August 1st, no speed cameras in Louisiana except in school zones. Since no schools will be, in class, in session come August 1st, there'll be no speed cameras in Orleans Parish, period.
That's good news. That's awesome.
And then in a few weeks, they'll only be in school zones. And here's another great news item for the ones that'll be in school zones. Each school's different. They have to customize them for every school. Each school zone has to be different. This blanket New Orleans, 6:45 to 8:45 or whatever it is, 7 to 9, 2-hour block. And then 2:45 to 4:45, a 2-hour afternoon block. That's all out the window. When the bell rings in the morning, you can do an hour before that, an hour up to the bell rings. That's it, 1 hour. When the bell rings in the afternoon, you get an hour of school zone and cameras for an hour. So not only does it get rid of all the traffic cameras in the city of New Orleans come August 1st, it cuts the time of the school zone cameras in half. And customizes them to the school where they're actually doing some good. They're supposed to be protecting students and teachers and principals and janitors and people that work at the school when they're coming and going from the school, not when they're already in and the doors are shut and classes going on. Right now, you could have a school zone going off 2:45 to 4:45. Class got let out at 2:15. So the kids are leaving and there's no school zone light going off. Then after they've gone, it goes off for 2 hours and you can get ticketed and there's no student or teachers anywhere around. We know New Orleans is a lazy city and dysfunctional and broken and don't care about the little things, especially because they don't care about the big things. But this is good. These are good laws. I like these. The second one I'm about to tell you about, but I like the first one. August 1st. No traffic cameras in Louisiana at all, except in school zones. and then only an hour before the first bell rings and only an hour after it rings. And that's it. And customized for each school. This blanket crap that New Orleans does will not fly anymore. So get your you-know-what straight, New Orleans, or just get rid of all the cameras. That'd be the easiest thing. Eliminate all the cameras, including the ones in school zones. Get rid of all the cameras. The second law that goes into effect August 1st, two things. A more, I guess, proactive approach to folks driving in the left lane of the interstate, not passing, but just driving in the left lane. You may not like this. I say this all the time. I laugh when I say it because I know some folks are like dumbfounded. They think I'm lying. Driving your vehicle in the left lane of the interstate is against the law. Passing in the left lane, getting over in the left lane with your blinker, accelerating past people in the middle or right lane, and then getting back over, that's legal. The left lane is for passing only. You know, in Germany, there's no problem with this. In the United States of America, there is a disbelief problem. Like, I don't believe that's the law. I mean, why couldn't I drive in the left lane? And then there's people that just don't know that that's the law and unconsciously drive in the left lane. Then you've got the worst of the crew that are fully aware of the law and are just belligerent. Well, he's speeding. All right, I'm not going to let him pass. No, it causes road rage. It causes problems. It causes accidents. Get out of the left lane. The left lane is for passing only. Driving is illegal in the left lane. And the speed limit is irrelevant. The speeder's speeding. He's breaking the law. But you blocking the speeder by driving in the left lane and not aggressively passing, you're breaking the law too. I'm glad to see law enforcement is going to proactively go after people for that. Get out of the left lane already. I live in the city. I mean, I'm not built to live like in Slidell and take the New Orleans East to Slidell twin span every day on that commute. I'm not built to live in LaPlace and go Kenner to LaPlace. I'm not built to live on the North Shore and take the Causeway. Because too many people drive in the left lane every day, every morning, every afternoon, just drive in the left lane and do not care. Why are you in such a hurry? Why? I don't even worry about that. I look in my rearview mirror, someone's barreling up on my rear end. I get over and let them pass. Problem solved. None of this. He's a speeder. I'll show him. Why is he in such a hurry? What's this idiot doing? I'm going to stay in the left lane. I don't do any of that. I get out of the way. So those are good laws that are coming. Really good laws. No speed cameras, except in school zones, and then limited. That's it. That's great. New Orleans speed cameras are going to be gone August 1st, except for in school zones. That is huge. That's huge because it's a scam. And then, no driving in the left lane. The only caveat I would add to that, and I told the lawmaker, I had him on the bill, Lano or someone a few months ago who sponsored the bill. I was like, add in like New Orleans and Orleans, Jefferson Parish, the interstate in the city. No 18-wheelers in the left lane ever. I mean, I'd be tempted to say no taxi cabs. From New Orleans to the airport, no taxi cabs allowed in the left lane. They are obnoxious. The minivan taxi cab just driving in the left lane, not getting over to the right. Pull those guys over, state troopers. I feel sorry, and I'm sure many cab drivers, if not most, are good drivers. I feel sorry for cab drivers, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, because I think a lot of people, myself included, it's like, oh, I'm cutting off a cab driver? Don't care. It's a cab driver. He's a, idiot anyway. Not like being a cab driver means you're an idiot. Like I said, most cab drivers are probably good people and good cab drivers, but they get a bad rep from the ones that do suck.
Yes.
The minivan driving in the left lane from Orleans Parish all the way to the airport. Let's get over to the right, jerk. Mm-hmm. But 18-wheelers, no bueno in the left lane on I-10, I-610. Get over to the right. That would be a nice law to add to the books. It is Monday. That means a Martell Monday in the 5 o'clock power hour. And Brett's got a lot to cover, including the LSU baseball team. They are national champions. Pulling out the broom. No game 3. I thought there'd be a game 3 tonight for all the marbles, but LSU took care of business. Coastal Carolina didn't help themselves. First inning, 3 coaches get tossed. The Mario Brothers,
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was insane. Yeah, I mean, keep arguing balls and strikes when they warn you to not.
Yeah, when it was 0-0, a little extra.
Yep. What's that, Blue Boy? The umpire said, I'm giving you a warning, and basically the Coastal Carolina coach ignored it. You're right, buddy. Blue Boy, you don't miss a beat. What? Tell folks to stick around 5 o'clock powwow and F's. Blue Boy, I love you, buddy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TF-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TF-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday. Boy, that weekend went by fast, huh? Holy smokes. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow on this Monday brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery. It is New Orleans. It's a New Orleans institution since 1940. 85 years of excellence. Tired of your dry cleaner? I know a lot of you are. You just sort of accept it, and that's what it is. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience truly the best? Young'sDryCleaning.com. They care. They earn your business. Young'sDryCleaning.com. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Young's. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Got a lot coming your way. LSU baseball national champs. 8th time. They take 2 straight from Coastal Carolina. National champions. Couple of close games, too. Was it 1-zip game 1 and 5-3, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx? 5-3 yesterday?
Yes, you got it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
LSU baseball national champs. ESPN in an article saying LSU baseball greatest program in the history of college baseball, even ahead of USC and Texas, because they're from yesteryear. They're from yesteryear. Mario Brothers and I were just discussing yesteryear compared to today. And Mario Brothers basically insulted me and said I'm old. What are you laughing about?
That I insulted you and said you're old. That's not really how it went.
That's how it went down. You were trying to soft sell it.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, dude, you're like a little older, maybe, and just maybe in a generation, from now, I'll be watching, somebody having sex with a robot on television. That's just how things are going.
I mean, yes, it is.
That's just that was pretty insulting.
Okay.
Anyway, it's your final shift, Mario. Thanks so much. There's a guy right there from HR. You got to go in this room and sign some paperwork, and we're gonna put you on Cobra Insurance for the next 18 months. So you're out of here, man. Thanks.
It's been real.
It's been real, bro. Later, bro. Mario Brothers, I did not know this. You're not only friends with T-Bob Hebert, you're friends with that guy T-Bob Hebert was sexually harassing in the video.
Yes, that's been Mincy.
Mincy with the Raising Cane stuff?
Yes.
Mincy's a trip.
He's been in Barstool like 2-3 years now.
Yeah. I don't. Barstool is ridiculously successful. I just don't understand you kids, by golly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not asking you to understand. It's just kind of how things are.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks otherwise is a fool.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, but it's beyond my control. But I don't understand, boxer shorts and pants in between waist and knees either, and having to hold your, to hold the pants up.
Mm-hmm.
That's to me, that's like having to shift a car.
Yes.
The belt makes it an automatic. I got both hands are free. Don't have to hold my junk and hold the pants up while my butt cheeks and boxers are hanging out the rear end. But I've seen men that are like 40 years old with that outfit, 45 years old.
It's a preference thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'd have trouble hiring that person.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I'm like, dude, the belt needs to be strapped at your waist. Belt goes at the waist, not in between waist and knees. Anyway, no, I don't pretend to understand all that. But also, Mario Brothers, I'm not like, I don't understand this rock and roll thing. I'm like, you kids, it's the devil. I don't understand the rock and roll thing.
No.
I just don't think it's the devil.
Hey, I'm the same way.
I just don't think it's the devil.
Like 10, 11-year-old kids love to watch people play video games. Like love watching people react into video games. When I was that age, I played the games, but they seem to like that, and I don't get it.
That was another thing. Perfect timing for me with Mario Bros. I thank the Lord Jesus for it. I sat inside with some buddies in Charlotte by LSU playing Tecmo Bowl, and thought it was about 45 minutes. It was 8 hours later.
Jeez.
8 hours.
Yeah.
I said, I'm never playing a video game ever again. I never have. Never. Because I'm right at it was either dive into it. Like anyone older than me doesn't play video games. Is there an exception? Of course. But everyone younger than me plays video games. I'm literally like the line of demarcation for video games.
I see what you mean.
Older than me, no one plays them. Younger than me, everyone plays them. I had a choice to make, and I ran from them just because I was like, I'll be inside tomorrow for 8 hours playing this damn video game.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is crack.
That's like the person who tries whiskey the first time, gets way too drunk. And
No,
is like, never again.
you saw New Jack City. I was Pookie. I was Chris Rock. Keeps calling my name, the video game. I was like, I don't need this.
The Dave Chappelle skit.
Yep. Oh, boy. 766-9480. Oh, your boy Portnoy at Barstool Sports. I may not know much, but you don't throw him out of your pizza joint and say, are you videoing? I didn't give you permission.
Yeah.
Some guy got a 0.0. I guess had no idea who Portnoy was.
Yeah, that's a jerk thing to do in general, I feel like.
What's that?
It's kind of a jerk thing to do in general. Like, people are filming. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Like your pizza shop.
Yeah.
You're not that important.
No, exactly. And probably it's going to be posted somewhere where, Buddy D used to tell me, you remember the old Domino's pizza guys, you said. Buddy D once told me, he's like, Corey, it doesn't matter if they're talking good or talking bad about you, just as long as they're talking about you. And I was young, and I was like, why would you want anyone talking bad about you? I'm thinking. But that isn't what Buddy meant. He's like, you could give someone a gold bar, and they'd say, I've got to carry this heavy thing. So not everyone's going to like you.
Mm-hmm.
People that like you, great. Hopefully they're talking about you. People that don't like you, hopefully they're talking about you too. But you want both groups, ideally. And Buddy said it best. It doesn't matter if they like you or not, if as long as they're talking about you. All right, Buddy, I like that point. Very well said. It is a Monday afternoon edition of the program. 766-9480. LSU baseball national champs for the 8th time. Iran fires missiles at the U.S.'s largest base in the region in Qatar. The forward headquarters for CENTCOM. 10,000 troops based there. The U.S. Fifth Fleet is in Bahrain. 9,000 service members there. Got that Iraqi base with thousands there, about 2,500, 3,000 there. About 50,000 U.S. service members in the Middle East within range of Iran's rockets. But so far, so good. Our defense systems, Qatar's defense system, knocking down a bunch of these Iranian missiles. This one's real easy for me. I mean, President Trump's right, like as far as like Iran, its history, 90 million people. It could be a great country, like a Middle East leader. But you need a regime change. But it could be a great country, a Middle East leader, if they would just chill, just the hell-bent attitude against the West. You messing with Israel? I mean, I don't know what Iran's thinking, I'm Iran. I just abandoned my nuclear program. Iran should be a incredibly vibrant Middle Eastern country. I mean, look at like Jordan and Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. I mean, just explosive growth, so much money. Saudi Arabia and Arab Emirates is just, all they do is produce cash. It's a big ATM machine. No, Iran could move in that direction. But, it's a balance of religion and politics and a way of life. And Iran is just very hardcore, where the religion percentage is way too large and the politics and way of life percentage is way too small. Jefferson Parish, I like this. The council unanimously approving a nearly $17 million East Bank animal shelter. Dogs, cats, wildlife, farm animals, small mammals, reptiles, first class. 20,000 square feet, nearly $17 million. Yeah, you're right, Jefferson Parish. That's the way to do it. Developer Joe Cannizzaro passed away, 88 years old. Developer of a lot of New Orleans modern skyline. I would say a good half dozen buildings out of the 25 that were built between 1972 and 1987. What we see in Austin and Nashville and Charlotte today, that was New Orleans early, mid, late 70s, early, mid 80s. 15 years from 1972 to like 1987, 25 brand new buildings built, office towers and hotels from 72 to 87. Our whole modern skyline built basically during that era. Not a lot built since then. Last 35 years, not a lot built. 40 years. Developer Joe Cannizzaro passing away at 88 years old. He developed a good fourth of that skyline. I'd say about a half dozen of those downtown buildings, like Canal Place. I call it Darth Vader, the old Texaco Center, the black building with the sharp edge. 909 Poydras, the old LL&E, a lot of buildings. A visionary. It's hot out there. 93 degrees feels like 100. It's a scorcher. If your air conditioning is not working right, or worse, not working at all, Total Maintenance is there. And they got what you need. This is key. This is key. Total Maintenance. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. If you're in New Orleans or Baton Rouge and need air conditioning help, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. If you're in New Orleans or Baton Rouge and you need air conditioning help right now, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday. Mario Bro, a.k.a. Latin X, fielding your phone calls at 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, Mario Brothers, we burned up a whole segment earlier about fast food. Did you see this joint from, I think, Texas that's coming to like Baton Rouge that it looks like a Raising Cane's competitor?
Oh, the hot chicken?
Yeah, the hot chicken, exactly. Like 5 or 6 different levels of chicken.
I heard about that.
Looks like coleslaw, crinkle fries.
Cheese fries, yeah.
Yeah, Texas toast kind of looking thing. Looks like a total, Raising Cane's with spicy chicken.
Yeah, I got to try it, but it looks like good marketing, man. It looks good.
The Cane's thing is amazing, dude. Like, hey, you need to have grilled chicken for like people that don't want fried. Nope. You need to have breakfast. Nope. You need to, nope. Expand the menu, onion rings, biscuit. Nope. Yeah. Just slaughtering it.
His professor
Spicy chicken or mild. Nope.
Yeah, his professor said all that. That was a class project.
That's like 7 banks turned him down.
Yeah.
So went and fished sockeye salmon or something, or fishing in Alaska. And then when I was at LSU, that was Mandy's Conoco station. The mothership, that was Mandy's Conoco. That Mandy was the daughter of the original owner, was a man. This guy, the old man, would be out there. He'd have a brown bag with like a big old, quart beer. And he would be rebuilding carburetors on one of those like metal tables that rolls. He'd just be sitting out front. And I'd be walking to school. I'm like, hey, Mr. So-and-so. Like, hey, he knew I was because I get my car fixed there. And then Mandy, his daughter, took over the Conoco. And he was the mechanic, but she ran it. And then I guess they closed it down and Cane's rented it out. And that story is that first night they ran out of chicken and were selling it till 2 a.m.
Yep. The rest is history.
The rest is 1,000 locations, and he's worth about $9 billion. From what I understand, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, the Cane's is about a $4 billion endeavor. The real estate's like nearly 6.
Man.
Like the locations and the buildings and either owning it outright or the lease on land, the 1,000 locations, that's the real money.
Oh, yeah.
That's the real money. More money than the Cane's, which is crazy. But he owns it all.
Yeah.
He owns it all. It's not a publicly traded company. Crazy. Monday afternoon edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Speaking of Raising Cane's, LSU baseball national champs for the 8th time. 2 straight with Coastal Carolina. No third game tonight. Taking care of business. Winning the first game in a tight one, 1-0. And then last night, 5-3. In the first inning, Coastal Carolina's head coach, first base coach, pitching coach, first base coach gets tossed, right? 2 coaches.
Yeah.
I said 3 earlier. I think 2.
I think it was the first base coach. Yeah.
Yeah, who was also the pitching coach or something. He had a dual role. I was thinking that was 3 coaches. Yeah, just insane. Arguing strikes and balls, giving a warning.
Yeah.
Still didn't back down. And wouldn't have been able to coach tonight if it would have gone to game 3. You're not going to be able to coach like first couple of games next season.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a stringent punishment, but whatever.
I was a little uncomfortable for a few minutes. Like, it's like when LSU would play Alabama in football. You want Nick Saban's team at full strength.
Yeah.
I don't want a quarterback out it's not their best team. I want their best team. You want to beat the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, it's like, let the coach come back in, but I don't know. The assistant coach, supposedly, like, he was an assistant coach for like 25 years. He was a head coach he was like an assistant there under that coach, left for a few years, came back. So he kind of knows baseball a little bit, knows how to coach. But yeah, you're losing your head coach and your second coach. That could be a little debilitating.
Yeah, in a championship game, definitely.
Who's calling the pitches, all that stuff, different situations and scenarios.
Yeah, impossible.
Yep. Anyway, LSU National champs. ESPN had an interesting article, maybe the greatest college baseball program, because it's modern times. The last 35, 40 years, they've been kicking butt and taking names. Programs that might have more national titles, USC, more wins, Texas. They haven't done it in the last 35, 40 years. All their stuff's from like the 60s and 70s. And back then, there were like 5 programs competing. So a really good argument that LSU is college baseball's greatest program ever. Like Alabama is college football's greatest program ever. There's no argument. They're cut and dried, clear cut. Not even close. LSU, you could argue with the USC and Texas of the world, but I think the article's right on the money because it's modern day. It's not yesteryear. 766-9480. That's what, blows me away, like where, people are like, oh, these Negro League records should not be recognized with Major League Baseball. I'm like, Major League Baseball was all white. That wasn't the best baseball. People think like Major League Baseball was the best baseball and Negro League Baseball was a lesser version of Major League Baseball. It's like, I don't know which one was better or worse, but since neither one was integrated, they were both lesser versions of what could have been at that time. You didn't have the greatest players in Major League Baseball either. So to integrate them is perfect. It makes sense. And just looking back when we were talking earlier about like the 1958 LSU team, I'm like, it's a bunch of white dudes.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, really? It's like the Green Bay Packers. Might have been integrated, but it's like, Jerry Kramer, guard. He's 6'2", 230. He couldn't play linebacker today. He couldn't play today because he's too slow to play any other position but lineman, and he's way too small to play lineman today. These guys are Hall of Famers, so I'm not knocking any of that. I'm just saying a different era. That's why, like, when the players like Jim Brown, Billy Cannon. Billy Cannon was 6'3", 225 and ran a 4.5 40. He could play today, But Billy Cannon's, backup running back was 5'7", 175, and that's what they were, So they're Oscar Robertson, at point guard. It's like Magic Johnson size. He's like almost. He's like 6'7". Point guards back then were 6 feet, 6'2". A tall point guard was 6'3" or 6'4". And if you were 6'3" or 6'4", they moved you to off guard, So just these giant players, they existed. These studs like Jim Brown or Billy Cannon. Today's size, speed, quickness. Back then, that's why they were superstars back then. But yeah, I love LSU. I love the 58 team. I'm not knocking it. I love Billy Cannon, the Go Team, and Chinese Bandits, and Paul Dietzel, and all of it. But, the team's like it's a whiteout, Get some players from like Grambling and Southern on that team, they'd be much better. And yeah, you'd lose some white players. I like the movie 42 where, Jackie Robinson's coming on and forget the actor who was playing the coach at the time, the manager of the team, was just like, he's just the first to come. More are coming, and they're hungry, and they're scratching and clawing. They want it. If I were you guys, I wouldn't be worried about Robinson. I'm worried about yourself because you're going to be out of baseball soon. And it's true. The tail end got cut out because it was just a bunch of white dudes that, they were the tail end. You integrated, you're going to lose a bunch of those guys. That's just how it is. So, no, I'm not knocking the 58 team, but it's apples and oranges.
Yep.
It's apples and oranges. Obviously, the integrated teams are better. And that's why when Major League Baseball purists are like, you can't just integrate the Negro League records into Major League Baseball. It's like, why not? Why not? Why not? The only reason I'd say Major League Baseball would be a better league than the Negro Leagues just because of percentage of population you get to choose from. Black population's like 13%. White population, especially back then, was like 80+%. So you have a much larger pool of people to choose from. So the percentages of premier talent, one could easily argue the Negro Leagues are far superior because of the pool is less to choose from. But yeah, people complaining like, how can you integrate the records? You have to, because neither league was elite, because neither league was integrated, which made it lesser than what it could be. And there's no arguing that. There's no arguing that. 766-9480 is the phone number. 766-9480. Lebanon's Cafe, open right now. They open up at 11 every morning, and they roll straight through to 9:30. No lunch, and then close for a few hours, reopen for dinner. 11 a.m. till 9:30, 7 days a week. They're open all the time. I picked up a to-go order from Lebanon's Cafe just the other day. I'll probably pick up a to-go order tomorrow or Wednesday. I love Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. Lamb chop, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. Carrollton and Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Lebanon's Cafe. Yeah, convenient to Uptown, Carrollton, Mid-City. Hey, you old Jefferson, old Metairie folks. If you can make it to Causeway and River Road, you're less than 5 minutes from Lebanon's Cafe. River Road, across the tracks, down Oak Street, left on Carrollton, left on Jeanette, big green awning. You can't miss it. Lebanon's Cafe. Yeah, really convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Via River Road to Oak Street. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X at the controls. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. LSU baseball national champs. Brett Martell from the Associated Press will join us. Yeah, another Martell Monday. We'll get his take on that. There's a new NBA champion. They might be building a dynasty over there. You know, San Antonio, Okie City. Those are good programs for the Pels to follow their lead. Those small market franchises seem to do it right. We'll talk to Brett Martell about that. NBA doesn't stop. Crown a champ, few days, NBA draft. They just keep on rolling. Hey, Katie's is open for dinner right now, as New Orleans as it gets. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? In Mid-City, Iberville, corner Telemachus. New Orleans specialties. Katie's, Iberville, corner Telemachus in Mid-City. They're open right now. Coming right back.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Not an FM disc jockey, not a former politician, Corey Johnson.
You're not the DJ. You're a raconteur. You're a storyteller. You're a griot.
It's true. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on a Monday afternoon. Every day, this program on radio, television, and YouTube, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra and Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. If you own a business and you need a commercial truck, van, or SUV, Crescent City Ford in Elmwood on Jefferson Highway for over 80 years. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra and Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. LSU baseball national champs, 8th time. Iran firing missiles at the U.S.'s largest base in the region in Qatar. The forward headquarters for CENTCOM, 10,000 troops based there. Now, the Middle East, nearly 50,000 U.S. troops. In Syria, there are 2,000. In Jordan, there are 4,000. Saudi Arabia, 2,700. Iraq, 2,500. Kuwait, 3,500. Bahrain, 9,000. Qatar, 10,000. The Arab Emirates, 3,500. No, literally just miles west of Iran are about 45,000 U.S. troops, 50,000 U.S. troops. And then there's a lot of firepower. The Navy's 5th Fleet in Bahrain, about 9,000 service members there. Lots of F-16s, F-22s, F-35s, about 30 big refueling planes, aircraft. The USS Carl Vinson aircraft carrier. A trio of destroyers. No, the U.S. has a major military presence in the Middle East. Boy, those B-2 bombers, just amazing. Flying out of Missouri. 37 hours round trip. 37 hours round trip. All staying in the air the entire time. I mean, could you imagine these? Each B-2 has 2 pilots. Each B-2 aircraft has a microwave oven, a refrigerator, and a little pull-down cot. So one pilot can take a nap. Oh, and they have a toilet as well. So these 37-hour flights, you can go to the bathroom multiple times. You can heat up food in the microwave. You can get cold stuff out of the refrigerator. And there's a little pull-down cot where you can take a nap, sleep for a few hours, and then the other pilot takes over. 37 hours. Like when those planes took off from Missouri, somebody at the tower's like, all right, Freddie, all right, Charlie, see you guys in a day and a half of flight. See you in 37 hours. They refueled multiple times in the air and then went into Iran, bombed the designated targets, hooked a U-turn, and flew back to Missouri, refueling multiple times in the air. 37 hours total time from takeoff in Missouri and landing in Missouri. No landing in Europe, no landing on an aircraft carrier, no landing in a friendly air base in the Middle East and taking a nap for 10 hours and refueling the plane and loading up bombs and stuff. Everything loaded up in Missouri except for fuel, refueling in the air while flying, bombing the targets in Iran and the Middle East, turning around and coming back 37 hours. That blew me away. That's the only reason I was like, how do these guys do it? I mean, is it you're going to the bathroom in the suit? How's this work? What are they eating? How do they stay awake? 2 pilots, pull down cot, each one taking different times at the controls, sometimes both awake. I'm sure during the bombing run, both awake. Going and coming, taking naps and sleeping in between. Microwave oven, toilet, and refrigerator, all in a B-2. Amazing. Multi-billion-dollar aircraft like each one. Amazing. It really is. Iran firing missiles. Reportedly 2 spots in this Iraqi base we have, but nothing verified at all that missiles were fired at the Iraqi base, but definitely at this Qatar base, the forward headquarters for CENTCON. But Qatar, they have their own missile defense system. And then we have a base within their country which has a missile defense system. So reportedly, like, no injuries, no direct hits, nothing, just knocking the missiles out the sky. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Developer Joe Cannizzaro passing away at 88 years old. A major part of the modern skyline in New Orleans. Lots of buildings he was responsible for downtown. Probably a half dozen of 25 or so that were built between 72 and 87. He knew Poydras Street was the future. Not everybody thought that. That Plaza Tower building, the black and white striped building that's condemned right now on Loyola and Howard Avenue. That developer, Russelli, he thought the CBD was going to go down Loyola Avenue. And that little like mini looking 1 shell square building over there in old Chinatown, like Loyola by Tulane Avenue. That was one end of it, and the other end was the Plaza Tower, and they thought they would fill in skyscrapers all in between. Instead, Poydras was widened, and it was from Claiborne to the river, and Poydras becoming this major street, this CBD, major street, anchored by the Dome, anchored by Canal Place, World Trade Center, Caesars, all the buildings and hotels in between. Now you got the Plaza Tower sitting out by itself. You got the little mini 1 shell square sitting out by itself. That CBD never went down Loyola Avenue. The Plaza Tower was like a Chicago-type skyscraper. It was a huge 10-story parking garage. It was a 44-story office tower with apartments on the top, kind of modeled after what Chicago had been doing. It just never, ever caught on. The building took years to complete. It was supposed to be finished in the mid-'60s. Didn't open till like the late '60s. Bankruptcy, different owners, on and on and on. Still a problem to this day. We're almost halfway through the year. End of June. By July 2nd, I guess, because February is a shorter month. July 2nd, we will be midway through the year. It seems just a few short months ago, it was, late 2024, New Year's resolutions and the like. We're 6 months in now. If you were thinking about a new job or a new career, go to Latram.com. Go to that website, Latram, spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latram, a culture of innovation. An amazing New Orleans company, born, bred, based out of New Orleans, still privately owned New Orleans company. The LePere family owns them. J.M. LePere, the matriarch of the family. I mean, you got Jay LePere, his son, and Robert LePere, his son. They run Latrim. And it's a perfect duo because Jay LePere is like, the play-by-play voice. He is the guy that knows how to run business. And a worldwide business at that. And then Robert LePere is like his dad, like super creative, like, genius type. So you got just a perfect complement. He's like the color analyst, and Jay's like the play-by-play guy. So they just work well together. Latrim is a family-run company. They did over $1 billion in business last year. That's $1 billion with a B. The shrimp peeling machine that their father invented in the late 40s, early 50s, still the industry standard worldwide today. Now, dramatic improvements, always upgrading it throughout the decades, but the Latrim shrimp peeling machine, the industry standard around the world. That led to the all-plastic modular conveyor belt, industry standard around the world. The alternating tread stair, the LePere stair. This guy was a genius. Stepped on a shrimp on a dock one day. The shrimp squirted out and the peeling stayed behind. He's like, wow. Went home. His mom's the old, washing machine with the rubber wheels. You feed the clothes through it. He adjusted the wheels and shrimp stayed behind, or the peeling stayed behind. The shrimp squirted through. That was like the beginning. And then the shrimp peeling machine was going to just pour your raw shrimp on one end and peeled shrimp come out the other end. Just amazing. Don't have to hand peel the shrimp. Now, the problem was the conveyor belt. They were rubber stapled together. When you're cleaning a shrimp peeling machine at the end of this day, you're using, chemicals to make sure that you're not getting any kind of diseases from the shrimp afterwards. You got to have that machine clean. They were going through conveyor belts like crazy. So J.M. LePere's like, how do I create a better conveyor belt? So he came up with the all-plastic modular one. You know the old spiral notebook, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx? Are you familiar with a spiral notebook?
Yeah, some like real old-school journalists still use them. I think it's kind of cool.
Imagine hooking two of them together and sticking a pencil in between. You're hooking them together.
Yeah.
J.M. LePere's like, imagine that the notebook is a solid piece of plastic and the rings are plastic rings. He crosses the two and then runs an extruded plastic rod through it, holding the two panels together. Guy's just a genius.
Yeah.
A genius. Anyway, LePere stair, the alternating tread stair, incredible. The shrimp peeling machine, the all-plastic modular conveyor belt. You want to work in that environment? Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Pretty incredible. No, New Orleans was a trend-setting city back then. We had lots of major worldwide companies, and then just other cities took over, like Houston, Dallas, Atlanta. And now it's like Austin and Charlotte and Nashville trying to follow those. No, thank God for Latrim. A great New Orleans company. Latrim.com. 5 o'clock power hour. When we return, Brett Martell from the Associated Press.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. And supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
Native son, great New Orleans. No, that's me.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
New Orleans native son. No, that's me. That's me, lady. 93 degrees, feels like 100. Stay hydrated. It's hot out there. Old Tolly, he ain't getting a walk, and that's OLE, not OLD. Old Tolly, he ain't getting a walk till about 7:30, 7:45, maybe like 8 o'clock. By the way, right now in the longest days of the year, they're actually going to start shrinking now. When is the summer solstice? Did we just hit it?
I think so.
It's the 23rd of June. It was either like it's today or yesterday or Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's find out when the summer solstice was, whatever.
On it.
Thanks, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X. That day is the longest day of the year for us. I mean, the sun's coming up like pre-6 o'clock, and it's staying light till after 8. I mean, it's like 15-hour days.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Pretty amazing. And then in the wintertime, we get the opposite.
It was last Friday, June 20th.
June 20th?
Yeah.
All right, nice. So days are shrinking a little, but barely. So it's still light till about 8:20. LSU baseball national champions. They did it in 2 games. Brett Martell joins us. Another Martell Monday. Brett Martell, nearly 30 years with the Associated Press. What's happening, Brett?
Hey, Corey. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Pretty impressive. I thought it was going to go to 3 games. Coastal Carolina hadn't lost in 2 months. Seemed like they had a really good pitching staff. Some folks said LSU has the best 1-2 pitching staff in the country. Coastal Carolina might have the second best 1-2 pitching staff in the country. First game was as tight as it can be. Second game was pretty damn tight. But LSU takes them in 2. Brett, were you surprised by that? Or were you expecting that or thought it could go to Monday?
Well, I don't want to say I'm ever surprised when LSU comes through in the clutch in big situations and wins. I wasn't even surprised when they came back in the ninth inning against Arkansas in the last semifinal game. To be honest, I was sitting next to somebody who was with the New York Times who didn't know a lot about college baseball, watching on TV, and when Arkansas scored a couple runs, he said it doesn't look good, and I just said, well, don't be shocked if LSU walks it off in some wild valley in the bottom of the ninth, because it's in their DNA to do stuff like that. And of course they did. And so, you get up against Coastal Carolina. I mean, Coastal had been peaking and been playing really amazing baseball lately. And I definitely thought that they had a chance to win it all and had a chance to beat LSU. But I wasn't surprised either, by the same token, to see LSU with those two dominant pitchers they have rise to the occasion and win 2 games.
They totally did rise to the occasion, Brett. I mean, each one, this is, crunch time, and they performed, and then Shores performed it. They really got great pitching and enough hitting against great pitching.
Yeah, and the thing is, the third baseman that was in that huge slump, he was making up for it with amazing plays in game 1.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
In the field. And it's just, there was just the right balance of great fielding and timely hitting, and they're relentless, and so they seem to do their best when they absolutely need to, or when there's an opportunity in front of them, a man on base. They're not the team that blows it. They're the team that's in the other team's head, and they blow it. Right?
Yeah, that's LSU Arkansas to a T. LSU is a team that expects to win. Arkansas is a team that hadn't figured out how to win the tight games yet. They're a great baseball team, the Razorbacks, but they haven't, figured it out yet, and LSU expects it.
Right. And it just says a lot for Jay Johnson. I mean, he hasn't been there that long, and he's already won 2 national titles. So he's been the right guy,
No, he definitely turned the program around. I mean, Brett, this year's team, it's like, I think he had 10 returning players. He brought in 10 transfers, and he had a 10, these are rough numbers, had a 10, person recruiting class. So you've got 10 newcomers that are freshmen, 10 transfers that never have been on the campus, and 10 returning players, and he figures out how to build a team with that, and they win the national title. It's pretty amazing.
It is. I mean, if you are, if you have a vision for what you need on your roster, and you're a young progressive coach, and you're embracing the new NIL transfer portal paradigm.
Yep.
And then there's a system. I mean, you prioritize certain positions, and then you realize that it's a pretty long regular season, actually. And, if you're peaking at the right time at the end, you can do what LSU did. And, LSU had their little swoons, right, in the first half of the season, dropped a series here and there, especially in the SEC. But they were ranked really high, I think, right around the top 5 all year long, and number 1 for a lot of the year. And they coalesced over time, and were just absolutely, I mean, they didn't lose a single game in the NCAA tournament, right?
Nope. But boy, during the middle of the SEC season, you were like, this isn't a national championship team. There were definitely some, doubts, I think. What was their SEC record? They lost about 10 or 11 SEC games, I think.
Yeah, although the 2 top pitchers, you knew they were kind of set up to do well in the postseason, because those 2 top pitchers, I think, were a combined 20-something and 4.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Yeah, and all you need, you stay in the winner's bracket, all you need are 2 pitchers.
Yeah. So
that's a good point. Brett Martell's with us from the Associated Press. Helm Paint and Decorating's been in New Orleans for 55 years. They're in Baton Rouge, too. Paint ain't paint. Benjamin Moore paint, best paint on the planet, covers more per gallon than the competitors. You can Google that. Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 locations in New Orleans, 4 in Baton Rouge, free 2-hour delivery. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating. Brett, we've got a new basketball champion. Oklahoma City, maybe building a dynasty. Maybe the Pels can learn from Oklahoma City, San Antonio.
Well, it certainly puts the pressure on, right? I mean, when you're a small market team that's been laboring and languishing, and another small market team wins, it makes you realize that you can't just use use market size as an excuse.
Yeah.
There's a path for doing it. Oklahoma City proved it. So did Indiana, for that matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And so now I think the pressure's on for the new regime in New Orleans to show that it can be the next strong small market franchise.
No, you're right on the money, Brett. And Blue Boy agrees with you, huh, buddy? Yep, I hear you. 7th pick in the draft. 23rd pick in the draft now? We'll see what happens later in the week. Brett, always a pleasure. See you next Monday.
Take care, Corey.
That's Brett Martell from the Associated Press. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm. That's Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, passed out on the floor. Wake up, man. We got a show to finish. See you tomorrow, New Orleans.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.